Does he know that I love him? With all my heart. Does he know that I love him? With all my heart. Alright. That sounds good. Alright, get that going. Publish. We're back in it, fam. Hello, welcome back to the stream. I am Alamorin. We last left off, we struggled to defeat Titania. And, we're continuing on from there. We just came back to the Crystarium. Hello? It's quiet.
All seems well at the Crystarium.
Yes. Ylmor was plainly more concerned with finding us. How flattering.
Are you just gonna walk up to us? Are you serious?
You certainly took your time. I had half resolved to complete the task myself.
Just walking up to us.
And you are...
Oh God, we don't know who he is.
Were one to study the annals of Garlean history, one would find yonder visage on many a page.
Ooh.
Though by rights its youth should long since have faded.
Well, well, we have a historian in our midst. That spares me a lengthy explanation. I am Solus Sos Galvus, founding father of the Garlean Empire, and under various guises, the architect of myriad other imperially inclined nations. As for my true identity...
He's just gonna show us? What are you playing at?
I am Emet-Selch, Ascian.
What is your game?
Gaius spoke of you. A native of the Source.
He's from the Source. I must have skipped over that somewhere.
Equal in rank to La Habrea. And you came all this way just to introduce yourself to us?
Behold the sky, restored to its former glory. Have you ever seen a more affecting spectacle?
This dude would be great on the mic as a wrestler. That's all I can think about when he talks.
Oh, it is truly deep. Infuriating. Do you have any idea how much you have delayed the rejoining? Following the flood, the First had been listing ever further towards the light, towards stasis. The end was in sight. Enter man and his indomitable spirit. He would haul the world back from the brink.
God, I stopped right before this conversation. Holy shit.
And adding his lumpen weight to the power of growth, he duly tipped the scales, if only by a fraction. Yet a fraction was enough to spoil the perfect imbalance needed to bring about a rejoining. Had mankind continued to live in idleness under Vauthry's rule, all the conditions would have been met. But you had to come and ruin it all.
Oh yeah.
Thanks to your meddling, light supremacy is in doubt, and our painstakingly laid plans are in tatters.
Well, I should begin by thanking you for confirming Urianger's theories on the inner workings of the Calamity. He will be most pleased. As for what happens next, Might I suggest you admit defeat and walk away?
Happy to let me go, are you? Because the murderous glint in your eye suggests otherwise. Indeed, it is enough to make me think better of confronting you alone.
Do we still have that aura sight, or that thing that Urianger gave us? Do we still have that on us right now?
It did cross my mind to simply side with Vauthry and kill you all. But that's no different from what La Habre did. And we all know how well that ended for him. And so, while it is liable to be troublesome, I have settled upon a different approach. Cooperation. I will not raise a hand to hinder your hunt for the Light Wardens. If you desire it, I will even lend you my knowledge and strength.
Since time immemorial, you and yours have labored to rejoin the 13 shards, at the cost of countless lives. Do you expect us to believe that your objective has suddenly changed?
Nay, our objective is the same as it ever was. Though I dare say, you do not know our motive. A war waged without knowledge of the enemy is no war. It is mere bloodletting. Just once, might we not seek to find common ground? For good or ill, I am immortal. Provided I have the inclination, I can always begin anew, scheme and conspire to my heart's content. But this time I thought that I might instead try to see eye to eye, to understand what drives the hero of the source, to determine if our goals are truly incompatible. So come, shed your preconceptions. See beyond the unscrupulous villains you take us for. When all is said and done, we may find ourselves pleasantly surprised. The proud discoverers of a path of cooperation rather than opposition. Think of it.
Thou hast delivered thy proposal, and we would not dismiss it outright. If I may offer thee counsel, however, to make thy case via an illusion reflecteth poorly upon thy sincerity.
Damn, Urianger. Not gonna catch him slipping.
My apologies. You will forgive me if I'm not entirely at ease in the presence of a famed Ascian Slayer. I felt it only prudent to take precautions. Nonetheless, your counsel is duly noted.
I take my leave, friends. Rest assured, we shall meet again soon.
So we haven't gotten to the big spoiler yet, or at least the supposed big spoiler, the one that was revealed in the launch trailer. So, like, how much of that is true? Right? Oh man, I don't want to assume anything, and I just want the story to tell me what's going to happen, so... Cooperation? He can't be serious, can he? Well, we certainly give her much to ponder, but first things first, we should report to the Exarch. You can run along, Ala. We're perfectly capable of handling this little task. In light of your recent exertions, I'd say you've earned some rest. Go on, take yourself off to bed. We'll see you later. Refreshed and ready for more. So, off stream, I got rest of the Aether points for Ilmeg and Lakeland. Lakeland, not Lake Town. I went to go get them for Kaluja and Amarang, but it seems there's in Kaluja there's a whole like upper level that I can't get to right now. That looks like you take a very Game of Thrones style wall elevator thing to get up there. And Amarang is like completely divided, like the other side of the flood, it looks like. Or something close to it. There's a big divide between it that I can't pass. Lakeland and, what's this? Sandwich basket? It's a tabletop. Oh my god. I need to get myself out of that queue. So, I also did a few dungeons and roulettes, while I was off stream, and like 2 hours ago I queued up for Alliance, and I guess I forgot to get out of it. I just looked at it now. It still hasn't popped. And I'm at number 1. I've probably been at number 1 for like 45 minutes. Look at those sandwiches. For me. I hope the past few days have not been overly taxing. Pray take your rest and recover. Handwritten missive.
From the Exarch, is it? With that mirror of his, he can watch your every move, you know. You probably think you're talking to yourself.
On a manner of speaking, we...
Still, he's keeping you well fed.
Apparently we share a soul?
Judging by his people's faith in him, he seems to be a decent sort.
It would make more sense, you know, if I looked like the canon warrior of light.
But so much about him remains shrouded in mystery. Like, what was he doing back in my day? There was no such person when I was around.
Interesting.
A lot's happened since the flood, though. Since I was set adrift. I know little more than you do of this city's history and the Exarch's past. Not that it matters. It's Emet-Selch we should be concerned about. When our world was about to be consumed by light, the Ascian in white appeared before us. He said that the only way for us to live on was to bring about the rejoining.
Yeah, the moon.
Desperate as we were, we heeded his words, not realizing that the flood was of the Ascian's own making. They cannot be trusted. None of them. But Emet-Selch had one thing right. One should not fight blindly. That's what we did. And it cost us everything we held dear.
Oh, man.
What? What about Seto? What is that to say? All right. He's done some growing. When we were traveling together, he was nowhere near as big, and he obviously couldn't speak. I had no idea how much that medallion meant to him.
Ah, look at my face.
What about you, anyway? You must have a friend like Seto. Chocobo, perhaps? Come on, you tell me something for a change.
Better give me the right options. Oh, I don't get to pick. Initially, I was hoping for Sidurgu or Frey to be part of the main scenario, but if I can't have them, you know, Albert's a good runner-up, I guess. Real politic. I need to get out of that queue. I'm out of that queue! People keep setting off fireworks. It's not the 4th yet, people. $79 About to be 80. Get me out of there. Holy shit. My kingdom for a healer. A party soon divided? Now we're into blue spirit gear now. Evening, sir. To the ocular. Ocular! I mean, obviously Emet-Selch's up to something, right? But, like, the fact that he just came up to us and said, yo, not only am I the founder of the Garlean Empire, but I'm also an Ascian and the one you've heard about. The fucking balls this guy has. Get me in there. I mean, we still have to figure out who Exarch is. If he's not Rak'tika, who is he? I heard the name Zandy's thrown around every now and then. That maybe he's the Emperor, except not all fucked up. Who knows? What's everybody looking at?
Ah, there you are. You're just in time to welcome our guest.
He's in here? Sure, just show yourself in. Just dust off your feet first.
Please. Did I not explicitly tell you that we would be meeting again soon?
Yeah, but not this soon.
Lest you forget I made you a promise. I have no intention of meddling with your mission. I come only to observe. Your Exarch friend in particular has piqued my curiosity. Summoning you all like that. Most impressive.
You honestly expect us to believe you've come only to observe? Or that you might deign to lift a finger to aid our cause if called upon? Even if there were a sliver of truth in your words, I would never accept your help. Not in my darkest hour. Not after all the suffering your kind has wrought.
So petty. I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. Wage your war against the Sin Eaters. Put each and every Light Warden to the sword. Prove yourselves heroes, brave and true, and I will be glad to embrace you as allies. Allies worthy of bearing the burden of truth.
The truth.
Surely such a partnership would be preferable to yet another round of fisticuffs. And thus did the olive branch wither and die. Pity. Well, let no man say I did not try, futile as it was. Though I suspect you will seek me out when you grow tired of making the same mistakes. Difficult decisions lie ahead of you. Decisions best made with the benefit of knowledge to which only the eternal are privy. For now, I shall resume my shadowy vigil. Whatever you choose to do, make sure it's worth watching, would you?
What was that all about?
A vain attempt to make us doubt our chosen course, most like. As if we'd believe a word that passed his lips. Unless you think there is some truth in what he says.
Colonel, perhaps. Not one shot. I don't know, but if he crosses us, I'll make him wish he had. I'm sure there is just a smidgen of truth in what he says. But how much of it is the truth, we don't know.
If he simply meant to lead us astray, he could have done so without revealing himself. At least, not in the manner he did. It goes without saying that an alliance with the Ascians is out of the question. But since we have no way of knowing where they might be hiding, it seems only logical to press on with our mission, even if our enemy seems content for it to succeed.
Then let us discuss the Sin Eaters. I would begin by thanking you all for your efforts thus far. In striking down the Light Wardens of Lakeland and Ilmeg, you have accomplished more in your short time here than all of our forces managed in the last century.
That may be, but the Wardens of Calusia, Armarang, and Rak'tika remain.
Rak'tika.
Indeed, and their precise whereabouts are as yet unknown. Which is why I propose we divide our forces and conduct a systematic survey of each region. Once we have found our quarry, we may then determine how best to proceed.
I'll take Armarang in that case. I know the lie of the land well enough.
If there are no objections, I will make for Calusia. I have connections there both in and around Yulmore that may prove useful.
Then I would ask that you journey to Rak'tika. There you will find Y'shtola. With her assistance, I doubt the Warden will evade your grasp for long.
Is Y'shtola the conjurer you and Urianger used to talk about?
That's right. Though we haven't spoken much since she left for the forest.
I fear I may be to blame for that. I had every intention of relaying the news of your arrival, but she is disinclined to speak with me. You have visited her, have you not? Might I trouble you to...
Twould be no trouble.
My thanks. While you are all out in the field, I shall be here attending to business. I had somewhat fancifully contemplated joining the search myself, but other matters demand my attention.
What's that?
A missive from Lord Vauthry. He invites me to join him in Yulmore to discuss the recent conflict at Leader Mural.
And? Did he even bother to offer any bait? It's obviously a trap.
I should be surprised if it were not. Nevertheless, I must seize this opportunity to speak with him, even if only a few words are exchanged. Though my power will be much diminished so far from the tower, it is a risk I am willing to take. Master Alphino, might I impose upon you to accompany me to Yulmore prior to beginning your reconnaissance?
Of course.
Then let us make ready. Safe travels to Yulmore.
So I feel like there's a bunch of hidden motives here. We've got the Crystal Exart, who simply by refusing to show his face here, he must have some sort of ulterior motive. Then we have Emet-Selch, who probably has 1,000,001 ulterior motives. And then we have Y'shtola, who in the opening cinematic is not called Y'shtola. She's referred to as Master Matoya. So what's going on there? It seems we are going to Rak'tika Greatwood. Poor job. Well. Little faith. Alright, let's get this thing at this church. Says it's down. There's a way down that I'm not seeing. Ah. Of the blessed and their past. It's got to be around here somewhere, right? Surroundings of the template. I think I found it. That was a little bit too easy. He's right there. Hey. We're halfway there. Into the dock. Ere we depart, there is a custom of the Knights Blessed which I feel compelled to elucidate. Belief of the Blessed that one's own name must ne'er be uttered in the light of the everlasting day. And this commandment precludeth not use of another's. Thus do parents protect their children, and in rare cases masters their disciples. So that's why Ishtol is going by Master Matoya. Ah, okay. That's some dank lore shit right there. Away we go. I am so looking forward to listening to this music. I forgot which trailer it was that we got to listen to the Rak'tika Greatwood theme. It sounded like something out of Cirque du... Oh, I'm walking on grapes, sorry. It sounded like something out of Cirque du Soleil. And it was amazing. So I'm ready for this track to hit me. Those things have wings? What? I didn't know that. Oh look, another Dark Knight was slept near. Bitch stole my look. I just want to wait until the clock hits 6 a.m. because I'm sure the theme that I'm thinking about is the daytime theme. Alright, let's go.
No matter how far he goes, man cannot resist looking back on the path he has walked. The untold stories and secrets of the past can be more alluring than the promise of tomorrow. And so he braves the forests of Rak'tika in search of mystery and wonder. Of Ronka, to which all seekers of hidden truths are inevitably drawn.
I've read the Rak'tika Greatwood. Oh, this theme's so good.
We have arrived. Vast though these woods may be, they are, by and large, uninhabitable. Not so the swamps of Cydia, however, whose sparse foliage permitted man a foothold.
No, okay, sure.
No lands must remain beyond our grasp. Go forth, conquer, rule. Forgive me. A sudden pang of nostalgia for those halcyon days. Exploring virgin territories, subjugating primitive peoples, all for the glory of Garlemald.
If you've brought your ivory standard, I'll be happy to tell you where to stick it.
Can we not simply take a moment to enjoy the view together? Or would you rather I spied on you from the shadows?
It's hard to enjoy the moment when you come in talking about conquering and pillaging.
Much more of this, and I may very well begin to regret my show of good faith.
If you really want to stay, then help us fight.
No, I think not. I am an observer, nothing more. Even shielded by the shadows of these boughs, I feel the light's presence most keenly. To accompany you is taxing enough. To fight is out of the question.
So you're saying you're in a weakened state?
Company if I must, but not your commentary.
I just want him walking behind us with like a bag of Cheetos, munching on them as we're walking around. What is it now? Do you expect me to regale you with friendly banter? Maybe? Is that too much to ask for? Very well, I will humor you this once. You may consider it my latest act of good faith. Come on then, what do you wish to know? I can ask him stuff? Why choose this form here in the first? Well, what a curious question. Mortal flesh is but the vessel into which we Ascians pour the elixir of our souls, molding it as fits the occasion, or not if we so choose. Be it for a year or a millennium, I prefer to retain the same form until my duty is done. So after arriving here in the first, I fashioned some hapless body into the man you see before you. Though, as your friend over there can attest, there are those who forego such alterations. He was ever the rash one, La Habrea, jumping from vessel to vessel, never heeding the toll it took on him. Interesting. 'Tis plain our Ascian counterpart meaneth to follow wheresoever we lead. Were it otherwise, he would not suffer the abundance of light in these woods. Verily. Years passed. Oh, that's something I gotta kill. You got very big. One down, need one more. Oh. Bit of lag there. What the hell are you? Look at that thing. It's like a tomato monster that lives inside a pot. Is there anything around? To the north. It's close by. Ah. Thank you for showing me the way. Bring the music back. I want it. There's usually one close to the first entrance you come in through. Alright, now we're onward. So this place has been destroyed already. Wonder by what? It looked like a firestorm, meteor shower or something.
I see little sign of recent activity, nor hath any meaningful progress been made with the reconstruction. Mayhap Y'shtola sought shelter elsewhere. Come, let us quit this place.
Oh?
Now, surround them!
I'm surprised Emmett is even entertaining this.
These Sin Eaters, they're not like the others.
Sin Eaters. Come on.
There's a reason for that. Lower your weapons, please. We mean you no harm.
How is it they can speak?
It's a Sin Eater trick. They mean to kill us all.
Is this some sort of illusion? Do we look like Sin Eaters to them? Kupo? What? Yes. Kupo?
That will seem a lot less amusing when we are forced to kill them.
Oh no, it's pretty funny.
Oh, for the love of... I had hoped that by accompanying you, we might come to understand one another. But all I have come to understand is that you have a knack for inflaming the natives. You've committed the cardinal sin of boring me. And so, I retire to the shade. Good luck.
Well, that doesn't look suspicious.
There! Did you see that one disappear?
I think I preferred La Habrea.
Enough. Runard, report.
Master Matoya!
Kupo?
We apprehended them as you ordered, but... Are you certain these are Sin Eaters?
The intense light of the ether I saw was unmistakable. If not Sin Eaters, then what?
Tis passing queer that Y'shtola should mistake us for the enemy, is it not? Mayhap it hath been too long since last she beheld the radiance of thine ether. Master Matoya, hath time truly made strangers of us?
Nay, I recognize you, Urianger, Thancred. And this is Minfilia of the First, of whom you spoke before.
Just so. And knowing as thou must that we come in peace, might I prevail upon thee to have thy comrades lower their arms?
First explain this other presence in your company. The one I know not. There is but one manner of creature in this world whose ether is suffused with such an abundance of light.
Come on. You don't remember me?
mine apologies, Master Matoya, but thou art mistaken. Before thee standeth our dearest comrade, the truest hero among us.
It's easy to forget that she's blind. And she sort of like she senses the ether, right? And that's her quote sight, at least how she's able to perceive.
Though he is but recently arrived here in the First, not one but 2 Light Wardens have already perished by his most puissant hand.
The fuck does that word mean?
It cannot be.
It's been too long, clearly.
Master Matoya?
Lower your weapons.
Your sister's gonna have a laugh when I tell her about this shit.
Forgive us this hostile welcome. Come. I would give you a proper introduction to Rak'tika and its people.
How you been, girl? You have been busy since arriving in the First, I gather. But I would hear the tale of your travails in more suitable surroundings. With Fort Gone yet to be rebuilt, the Knights Blessed have made their home in the settlement to the northeast. I will await you at its entrance. Follow the path through yonder gate, and you will find me soon enough. I forget that Ishtola's hair isn't white. It's like it's a very pale yellow. Like it messes with my OCD. It's so close to being white, but it's just not. There's that faint hint of color to it. To the west, that's close. Ah. Ah. God, this music is amazing. I could definitely put this on my track list, I think, and just listen to it casually. Yeah, that's a bit ways away. Here you are. Getting to worry much like the 12s would. This forest has a way of dealing with restraint. But I digress. Let me show you the home of the Knights Blessed. You got a cult going on, girl.
Thitherbow is the largest of the blessed settlements. They worship no gods, instead revering darkness itself. It is a curious kind of faith, but one which has granted them the strength to persevere in the wake of the flood.
That's an interesting gesture.
I hope you weren't expecting a grand feast by way of welcome. They are a simple people. Now, I would hear of your travels away from prying ears.
And Matoya's music. Take this opportunity to stand up and stretch a bit. Ugh.
I see. And now you seek the Light Warden of Rak'tika. In the days after I arrived in the First, I too relied upon the Crystal Exarch for guidance. But his penchant for secrecy and the telling of half-truths soon lost him my trust. And thus did I strike out on my own.
I see.
My work eventually led me here to the forest, which I've come to know like the back of my hand. I cannot say with certainty where your quarry is hiding, but I am confident I can narrow the search.
Well, go on then.
Some few thousand years ago, this forest stood at the heart of the Empire of Ronka.
Ronka. Are those like the first version of the Alligans?
A great many relics of that civilization can still be found to the east in Ixmaya.
Ixmaya.
Or rather, could be found, were the area not fiercely guarded.
By?
Ixmaya, you see, is home to a tribe of warriors whose lineage is said to date back to the time of the Empire. Any attempt to enter their territory is met with lethal force. They offer no warnings, and suffer no trespasser to escape. Needless to say, my every attempt to survey the area has been thwarted.
Mayhap the Warden hideth there, full knowing none may approach it for fear of these protectors.
As for the tablet, I find the timing of its discovery suspiciously convenient.
It is, isn't it?
I know better. I would think someone was trying to curry favor with me. Regardless, it will take time to decipher these writings. Yet I would not be at all surprised if they somehow held the key to entering Ixmaya unmolested. The Exarch has a nose for serendipity.
If there is aught I can do to assist thee in unraveling their secrets, thou needst only ask.
Thank you, Urianger. I may well take you up on that offer. While we set to work, might I suggest you take a tour of the city? Should you be in any doubt as to the importance of your role as the Warrior of Darkness, the people here will surely cure you of it.
I must say, Ishtola, while most of us have struggled to come to terms with our altered circumstances, you seem to have adapted rather well.
Doesn't surprise me.
Lest you forget, Master Matoya and I dedicated our lives to uncovering the truth which hides at the heart of our world. Though separate, the fate of this reflection is nevertheless bound to that of our home. That I would be daunted by such an invaluable opportunity is absurd. But what of you, Thancred? Could it be that you are still struggling to come to terms with the nature of your young companion?
Christ. Fucking call the man out right here.
My struggles are none of your concern. Quite why you would speak thus and in this company, I do not know. Perhaps you left more of yourself back in the source than I assumed. If you'll excuse me.
understands that I'm not the same. That I'm not her.
Understands, perhaps, but does not accept. The question being whether he ever will. And whether you will, more importantly. As difficult as your circumstances may be, they are yours, not his. 'Tis you and you alone who bears ultimate responsibility for your life. But you need not make any hard choices now. Why not go and get some fresh air, clear your head?
I want to get to the next dungeon. I don't know if I'll be able to do it tonight. Different things, troubles, nevertheless, I will apologize. It's about 2 hours away, isn't it? Then we'll be down for 3 hours. Either way, at the end of this 2-hour sprint, I guess I'll be forced to hang it up for then. It was the Sin Eaters that burned it down? Should you see any of our people come to this chamber, they have likely returned from a journey beyond the borders of Rak'tika. We use the water stored here to cleanse ourselves and light up light's impurity. Peculiar custom, but it is one of our most important. Would you two kneel for just a moment, that I might get rid of light's impurity? This feels more like a baptism than a cleansing. Your skin begins to tingle. Yo, I'll become one of the Knights Blessed. It's imbued with darkness. Imbued with water with a faint dark energy. Prickling sensation. No one has ever spoken of such reaction. Wouldn't say it was an unpleasant sensation, but I too felt something strange. Maybe it's because we're so steeped in light. You reasoners. And chill the water. People slither, bro. Then I must teach you a customary greeting. Alentuta, in the language of Ronka, is one of several ways one might say good evening. The world is not as safe as it once was. This greeting lets us quickly discern friend from foe. Is there a handshake or gesture we should know, too? I would hate to offend anyone. You need not worry. Merely speak the words Alentuta, and they will know you are friends of the Blessed. I will await your return here. Now go. They are like to be heartened by your knowledge of our ways. Very good. Glad of your company. Yes. Questions, or if there is anything you need, do not hesitate to ask. Does anyone else have the problem where, like, you read something and you can, like, read it a couple of times, but the information just doesn't retain in your memory? It's like you read a paragraph and then you can't really recall exactly what was said in it. I've had that problem for a while. It's why sometimes I tend to skip through these, because I know I'm not going to remember this later. These candles that I just looked at. Oh man. Those are not animated at all. Granted, it's a really small and minute detail, but I'm pretty sure there are candles in the game that do flicker. So that kind of sticks out to me. I don't know why I just latched onto that, but it happened. Take the jug of water to the square before the contents leak out. You have 45 seconds. Run! Walk fast, at least. Go, go, go! Yeah. Nice. Oh boy. Ah shit. Here we go again. Excuse me, Ingvar. Check this shit, plant. Well, thank you for watering my plants. Employees were not noticing sooner. Rather distracted of late. Crops is always Todia's duty, but she is no longer with us. We have since taken sharing the duty, though never with Gus. You were most kind. Anything else we can do to help? We could plant something if you like. There's no need. The plot is small, it is true, but it provides us with enough to survive. We ask for no more. I don't know how you manage. The Blessed not considered leaving. Life would surely be easier almost anywhere. I can understand why you might say that, but the easiest path is not always the right one. Tell me, do you know our history, how our faith came to be? Imagine it has something to do with the flood. Knights Blessed was initially formed by those who lost their homes in the wake of the flood. What began as an occasional gathering of survivors eventually grew into a community, which ultimately decided to strike out on its own in Rak'tika Greatwood. I see you've read your history, but there is history that is told and one that is lived. Like so many in those times, the first of the Knights Blessed lost everything, their homes, their loved ones, all they held dear. To make matters worse, none could say what became of those souls, lost to the flood when their bodies were reborn as sin-eaters. The people were without answers, without hope, their gods having drowned along with anything and everything else. It seemed that nothing was beyond the reach of the light. But soon they realized that where there was light, there must be darkness. And in that truth they found new faith, a belief that the souls of the departed could yet find peace beyond these burning skies, in the sunless sea above. That is why we pray for safe passage of wayward souls onto the blessed black abyss, for the return of the night, that we might someday look upon the kingdom of heaven with our own eyes. We remain in these woods for the selfsame reason our founders first chose them, that we may live of simplicity, lead lives of simplicity, with the shade of these trees as constant reminder of our faith. With so many seeking paradise in Omar, it's refreshing to find people who value a humble existence. You are kind to say so. Many consider our way of life foolish, and so it must seem to those who yet cling to their worldly possessions. In times such as these, when everything can be taken away in an instant, it is all too easy to lose sight of why we fight to go on living. It is to hold fast to material things. It is not to hold fast to material things, but to hold those who went before us in our hearts, to keep alive the legacy they have left us. This we must do for them, our children, and generations yet unborn. To keep their legacy alive. Done tending the crops already. Very good. I should not be long before your room is ready. Runar. The woods, sin eaters. I fear they may have the touch. Where? In the grove to the southwest, where a message is yet bordering closer to Silver. Then we have no need to engage. Inform the guard that no one is to set a foot outside the village until they have moved on. Todia's Heartstone. Before the service. If they indeed have the touch, I will not risk them corrupting one of our own. Days passed. Todia, the child of the Night Blessed, was slain by his sin eaters. We succeeded in retrieving her body, but in our haste we failed to notice her necklace was gone. Strung to it was a pendant of jade, her heartstone. All of the Knights Blessed are given such stone at birth. It is the most valuable possession one can own. It is custom to present the heartstone of the deceased at the funeral as an offering to the heavens, but now... I get the feeling we're about to go kill some Sin Eaters. Sin Eaters! I have experience fighting Sin Eaters, and the light's corruption does not touch me like it does others. Master Matoya called you Minfilia, did she not? Are you truly the Minfilia, descended from the Oracle? Even so, I dare not ask you to risk your life for the Blessed. I understand how you feel, but I can't stand by knowing that you people are in need of, and I can help. Please let me do this. A character development. Man, it'd be a real shame if she, you know, if we were told she was this really important character, then, you know, all she did was sit around on an island, perhaps, wondering where her two boyfriends are. Looks directly into the camera at Kairi. Very well, but if the danger proves too great, you must retreat. I could never forgive myself if we were forced to hold a second service. Dude, I'm going with her. Come on. About a Thancred. What if he returns before I do? I'll come with you. Thank you. With you at my side, I am certain we can deal with them in no time at all. Go swiftly, and may the shadows keep you both. I love these sayings and phrases. Let us go! Alright, so we have to take this way to get out of here. Go! Go! Do it! Run! Run! You can do it! Alright, we're heading this way. Anything close by? No. God damn, this music is good. Sin Eaters. Oh, okay. What are they looking for? I was hoping there would only be one. Alright. Go and get it, girl. And you are mine. That was a lot easier than the first boss in that dungeon. Where have you gone to, Littlefield? Yeah. Go away. Well, looks like she did it. But where's she? How you doing? There you are. It's done, though I fear I was a bit careless. I'll do better next time, I promise. Don't overdo it. I'm fine, you needn't worry about me. More importantly, we have to find that Heartstone. They said it was made of jade, right? I'll search over in that brush. Oh. I don't want to tangle with you right now. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Got it. I said you were a man of many talents. I think I'm beginning to understand what he meant. I have much to learn if I'm to be even half the hero you are. Here she was. Sorry, forget I said anything. We should hurry back to the Slitherborough. Renar and the others are probably worried. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Slitherbow? Are you serious? I didn't attune to it? Holy shit. Hi, I'm Olimorn. I'm a fucking idiot. Oh well. More of this music, I suppose. Those aren't animated either, are they? Nope. I swear I've seen somewhere in this game there were animated flames on candles. Am I fucking crazy? Thank goodness you are safe. I begin to fear the worst. By all that is dark, you found it. That's another good one. We can proceed with the service as planned. These blessed gems serve not only to protect us in life, but to guide our spirits unto the sunless sea and hereafter. Even should we be felled by the Sin Eaters, so long as these gems are recovered, our souls are ensured peace in the dark. Saying goodbye. Words fail to express my gratitude for this kindness you have done for the blessed. I must insist that you and your friends attend Todia's service as honored guests. There is still much we must do to prepare, but please go on and inform the others. It will be held in the darker. When you arrive, there should be an attendant present. Explain the proceedings. Allah and I learned so much about the Knights Blessed while you were away, and we hope to recover some lost heirloom in the woods. I know I wasn't supposed to leave, but they really needed our help. They were Sin Eaters, and as long as he accompanied you, but do try to be more careful. Your injuries could have been a lot worse. Let's just say a little bird told me, and it's telling me now that Allah has business with us. Is something the matter? Was it Hades? Did Hades tell you stuff? He's the only bird here that I see. They asked us to attend this service. Of course we'll go. It's being held in the darker, is it? We'll take care not to be late, I promise. Guess we follow this path to the darker. Wow, that is black. Hands you a candle. She then points over at a nearby corner where you might place it. Is every one of these candles someone that's died? Blue flamed candle.
It seemed only right that we show our faces. May we join you?
Let us begin.
I've got to say, the world building in this expansion is amazing.
I thank you all for coming to pay respects to our fallen daughter of the night. In the light, she was known as Todia, but in the dark, we shall remember her always as Menine. Let us each take a moment to offer her our prayers. entrust her now to the Knight's sweet embrace. In darkness will she be free from pain and suffering, now and forevermore. May her soul find peace in the sunless sea of heaven, and in the love we bear for her in our hearts.
That vessel represents the night sky, the sunless sea of heaven.
Wow, that's really sweet. I know that's an odd thing to say, but it's...
Call upon you now, O bringer of shadow, to lead this gentle soul unto the sea. We call upon you, O warrior of darkness, to deliver her unto paradise everlasting.
Man. I think he's still gonna speak here. I got something to say, I'll say it afterwards.
I am told you assisted in the preparations for the service. On behalf of the Blessed, you have my sincerest thanks. The enduring legend of the Warrior of Darkness owes much to the traditions of these people. And none were more ardent in their faith than Todia. She would have been greatly moved by your presence.
You might not deliver her to the heavens, but if you could deliver the night sky to her people, the real night sky, it would be the next best thing. Their prayers would finally be answered. They could gaze up at the firmament and see their ancestors in every twinkle of the stars. We cannot allow their hopes and dreams to drown in the light. We have to bring back the dark. If we don't, who will? Forgive me, thinking of all those we have lost.
No, it's all right. We will bring back the dark.
Mayhaps sooner than later, in fact. Urianger and I have finished deciphering the tablet, and its contents were most illuminating. Let us reconvene in my chambers. We have much to discuss.
So what I was going to say is, while they're not speaking about us directly, but everyone referring to the Warrior of Darkness, it has that same special feeling that being called the Azure Dragoon did in Heavensward. Sure, it can be applied to any job, but it still feels like that. You know, it feels important. We weren't just the generic Warrior of Light that we were in ARR or Stormblood. and like the world building is so insane. Like this, like I'm not a religious person, but I'm moved by like this stuff that I'm watching. It's so weird. Normally I roll my eyes at anything religion based, but it's very endearing. And just seeing like their ritualistic process of like taking their heartstone and joining it with the others, and it looks like the night sky. It's hard to describe, but it makes me feel things. It's basically all I'm trying to say. That's so amazing. Alright, Stola. But you're here. Thanks to the Exarch's gift, our next course of action is now clear. Stola's right, it's very convenient that he gave it to us. Just like that. Let me begin by first explaining the origins of this tablet. Initially, I believed it might detail the history of the Church of the First Light. My surprise, it dates back to the end of the Runcan Empire. It was likely written under the direction of the reigning ruler. It was a time of strife and unceasing war with neighboring nations. With each passing day, they yielded more and more territory to their enemies. In their desperation, petitions for aid were sent out to their allies. This is one such petition. And do you think the ancient petition will somehow help us get into Ixmaya? Surprised I remembered how to pronounce that. Indeed we do. For etched into the tablet is a method by which we may prove themselves an ally of the Runcan Empire. Provided we are able to decipher the instructions, we may entreat the ruins' protectors to grant us safe passage. The problem, however, is I presently lack the resources to decipher them in their entirety. We have but one recourse. There exists a stone monument inscribed with an ancient Runcan text and translations into a more modern dialect which came into use after the fall of the Empire. I am confident it will suit our purposes. Where can we find this monument? Here in Sitia, quite close to the Slitherbow, in fact. The good news ends there, however, for it is in the possession of a rather radical faction of dark worshippers, the children of the everlasting dark. Why is there always a dark faction? Why can't there just be one nice faction and that's it? Why is there always an offshoot that wants to kill everybody? If I am to study the monument, I must infiltrate their encampment. I have no intention of taking longer than absolutely necessary, but I will nevertheless require time to transcribe the text I need. To ensure that I will not have enough, I am afraid I must ask you and Thancred to assist me. And before you ask, the answer is no. If we remain unseen, our group must be small as possible. I would rather stay here until you return. We won't be long. If anything should happen, you keep her safe. Keep her secret, too. Then let us convene outside to the west of Slitherbow, where the path diverges. I can read. Not with the greatest of ease, but I can read. The encampment we seek is to the north, but it would be foolish to simply rush in. A guard has been posted at Cleric to keep watch over the children. Perhaps he has aught to share of their recent activity. But we must tread carefully. There is a chance we may encounter them along the way. Stay close and stay alert. I would avoid confrontation if possible. They rejoice in dealing death to others, claiming that in doing so they cleanse their victims of sin, usher them unto the sunless sea. I would rather not sully my hands defending myself against such madmen. There's always an evil twin group. Why? Why? Oh, hey. I'll take it. By the blessed dark. Thank goodness you are unharmed. Would have arrived sooner, but we had two rather unwelcome visit with the from children. You are an acquaintance of Master Matoya, then. My apologies. The children have been acting strange of late, and so I thought to take a closer look. I was careless. Strange, what have you seen? At first, they seemed to be doing nothing out of the ordinary, the usual gathering of ingredients for poisons from fauna and animals. But then I took notice of their venomous spiders. They've been breeding them in much greater numbers. It's as if they're preparing for something. Any ideas as to what? It could be anything, really. If it meant the end of the Blessed, nothing would be too cruel or violent for them. Perhaps we can use their present preoccupation with the spiders to our advantage. If we were to introduce a threat to the nest, where they keep them, the children would be compelled to save them. Bees, for example, are a natural predator of spiders. Set them loose on the nests, and we would have an opportunity to sneak into their encampment. What a mischievous plan! I like it. With a bit of smoke, we should be able to subdue a few colonies long enough to secure their hives. Have you anything we might be able to use? We should have smoke bombs at the outpost just over there. Why does someone always have smoke bombs readily available? Then it's settled. Grab a few smoke bombs from the outpost and search for beehives. I imagine the bees won't take too kindly to your visit, but once they're knocked out, take the beehives and bring them back here. Two will suffice. They're animating. It's faint, but why weren't the other ones animating? Is that a glitch? I knew it. I wasn't crazy. You all thought I was crazy, but I knew I was right. Oh, I thought I would have to place it. Poof! Oh no. Mine. Where, oh where? There. Alright, give me that. Okie dokie. The guard returned to Slitherbow, but not before offering his thanks. As for the beehives, Thinkard and I were successful in acquiring what we need. How did you fare? It's more than enough. The children are certain to be displeased. Let us hurry before the beasts begin to stir. Children's settlement is to the west, a place they call Woven Oath. According to the guard, there is an airway apart from the entrance, which leads to the spider's nest. If the fates are kind, they will be clear. Ow, 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 ow. Stretch! Ow. Oh, God. Stand up for a couple minutes. I guess since I'm here I should grab this. Nope. Alright, we're in Woven Oath. Up there is the airway. Do you see it? A bit far, perhaps, but we should be able to cross the bag through. Toss the bag through. Though, we should probably loosen the ropes, keeping it closed enough that it falls open when it lands inside. May I do the honors? Yeet the bees! Yeet the bees! That should do it. Now we wait. What is that? Bees! By the abyss, they're everywhere! Not the bees! Oh, God! Sounds like her plan is working. Oh, damn, I didn't read that. If you should come to blows with the children, I'll see to it that any signs of struggle are concealed. Failing that, I'll create a distraction to buy Charlotte more time. Should anyone get past me, it falls to you to guard her. Your concern is appreciated, but I sincerely doubt it will come to that. Why do I get the feeling you enjoy the idea of my loafing about bored in the shadows? Come on, Thancred. The shadows are a fitting place for the Warrior of Darkness. Now, if you both are ready... Oh, hey. If you don't mind, I just need to slip past you real quick. Just coming through. Don't mind me. The wood bats are not hostile. Hey, Stola. We're here. The womb seems very similar to the darker. The font of seeing suggests this is the Chamber of Prayer. At the very least, they would not place this near potential distractions from their worship. Perhaps the monument is further in. Cave paintings. What is this? There's someone or something on a throne, it looks like. It's the sun? And this? I don't know if I'm like, who knows if these paintings actually have meaning? Those are the warriors of light, or so the warriors of darkness as we know them. Yes, this is it. I will be but a moment. Keep watch of the entryway. Second thought, would you mind examining the murals on these walls while I look over this? At a glance, I can tell they are old, predating the founding of the Blessed and the Children, in fact. We're not like to come here a second time. 'Twould behoove of us to learn all we can. murals take note of what events they depict. May move the camera. Interesting. Primitive mural. Mural appears to be ancient. A warrior in the middle stands triumphed over what appears to be a creature of shadow. Other figures surround the warrior rejoicing in their victory. Ronkin mural. The mural appears to be very old. A ruler sits atop a throne, attended by their subjects. Faded mural. The mural appears to be fairly old. A knight shields himself and their comrades from the encroaching darkness. The central figure is considerably faded. I will have to switch controllers once this cutscene is done.
These paintings, they seem familiar. Depictions of heroes throughout history. The Age of Gods, the Empire of Ronka, and this. There was a man, a researcher who pored over these pieces. He offered us work when we needed it. Slaying beasts, delivering provisions. A funny old bugger he was. But he had a good heart. He believed this first painting dated back to a time of myth and legends. A tribute to the heroes of a long-forgotten era. The story went that it was rediscovered by an explorer from Ronka, who was so struck by its majesty that a second painting was commissioned, commemorating the heroes of their day. One day you will all be here too, he said. Heroes immortalized forever. Maybe I'll paint you myself? I had a good laugh at that. We were only trying to make our way after all. Being heroes couldn't have been further from our minds. But it seems he actually went and did it. Before or after the flood, I wonder. Rather faded, isn't it? Compared to the others. Or did someone try to scrape it off the wall? Well, maybe the man himself once he came to his senses. Do you suppose your deeds will warrant an addition to this collection? Or some other kind of monument?
Never thought about it.
There you are. I have everything I need. Let us quit this place.
Stola, I was in the middle of a conversation. Excuse me. Ah, see what you did? He left.
Is something the matter? We should go. The others are waiting.
Alright, let me switch controllers here. Hopefully this doesn't end the stream, because my battery died once on a controller and it like turned the stream off, so bear with me for a moment. Okay. Gonna do a quick audio test just to make sure things haven't messed up a little bit. Stream still seems to be going. Gonna do a quick audio test. Yep, that sounds good. Alright, let's continue. I'm pretty sure we only have 52 minutes left. In fact, there's probably a message. Yep. So, in an hour. We'll see how far we can get in that time. I believe I now have everything I needed to finish deciphering the tablet. Tell me, Allah, did the murals appear to be of any significance? Depictions of heroes. From the Age of Gods, the Ronkan Empire, and immediately before the Flood. Very astute observations. Perhaps in another lifetime you could be a curator of antiquities. Though it has no bearing on the task at hand, perhaps my knowledge may prove to be the best use in the future. An unwanted proposal. Let us hurry to Slitherbow. The others are waiting. After we've returned, the two of you should rest a while. No doubt Renar will be eager to have you sample his cooking. As soon as I discover anything of import, you will be the first to know. And I bet you I didn't fucking sync to that thing. I did not. Well, here we go. I forget what. Why do this one, the first thing I always do is attune to the damn Aetheryte, and I failed to do it twice now. What the fuck? At least it's not too far away. Alright. First thing first. Let me attune to this damn thing. Ugh. Allah, the guard told me you left with Master Matoya to the Woven Oath. And no sooner do you return than she locks herself away in her chambers without such as a word. She knows how I worry when she leaves without telling me. But she is safe, and that is all that matters. You must be hungry after such a journey. Why not have a seat there by the fire? The stew will soon be ready. Would anyone like some stew? Would anyone like some stew? Would anyone like some stew? I feel like we're waiting for something to happen here. Is something about to happen?
Strange. The others on patrol should have returned by now. Our food will be overcooked if we wait any longer. We will just have to start without them. Would you call Master Matoya and the others?
We should probably look into that, bro.
I tire of these games, Urianger. Why do you pretend you cannot see it? The blessing may spare him the fate of becoming a Light Warden. But you cannot be blind to the nascent corruption. He is not as he was in the Source. Though I have no proof, I fear that the light which poured forth from the Wardens was not negated at all. I fear it was absorbed, that he has been suffused with their light.
Which means what exactly?
Though I have given thought to this possibility, I dare not speak until more is known.
Well, God damn it, Urianger.
By the time you deign to enlighten us, it may be too late, if it is not already. Urianger, I know full well, after all these years, that you have only the best of intentions. But that does not make it any easier to put my faith in a man so infatuated with secrecy. I have had my suspicions ever since the Exarch bade you speak that day. But now I must ask. The 8th Umbral Calamity and all that followed. Everything you claim to have seen. Did you?
Urianger?
Help! Someone help! The Ilmorans have come for us! We're under attack!
God damn it. Meanwhile, in Yomor. God, I don't know who to trust in this fucking situation. Because I barely trust the Exarch. It feels like he means well, but like...
Lord Vauthry, how good it is to see you. How long has it been? Not since your inauguration, unless I'm mistaken. Too long, at any rate. May I say, how humbled I am to be invited not only into your city, but your home. You are as generous as ever.
And you as disingenuous. Let us dispense with the pleasantries. This merry band of dissidents people are calling warriors of darkness, they have slain sin-eaters, and by all accounts the Crystarium is complicit in their villainy. And now I hear reports of your people obstructing my soldiers, so I must ask, what exactly do you think you are doing?
I might ask you the same thing. It should be clear, even to you, that defeating the Light Wardens represents the world's only hope of survival. Even now, the people of Lakeland and Ilmeg rejoice in the return of night. For 100 years, they yearned for a means to fight back against the Sin-Eaters, and at last they have found one. Yet you choose to stand idly by and do nothing. Why?
Why? Because this hope you cling to is nothing more than a fever dream, an exercise in futility. Even should you slay the Sin-Eaters, the world as we know it is beyond salvation. With what little land and resources remain, the people would be free only to starve. Before long, they would turn to violence, then to war, and ultimately usher themselves unto oblivion. They require a firm hand to shepherd them from the edge. The hand of a king, nay, a god. I will see their dreams fulfilled, their wishes granted. I will give them peace, order, and they shall never want for bliss. Men are fickle creatures who entertain vague ideals without the faintest notion what they cost. But a little fear can go a long way towards helping them realize what it is they truly need. Sanctuary. And they shall find none in this world save that which I afford them. That is why the Sin-Eaters exist. To unite the world under my dominion.
A paradise fit to grace the 8th Umbral era.
What was that?
A minor epiphany, nothing more. You have always held sway over those around you. Those who defy you must submit or die. What sits before me is the inevitable result of bloated privilege and unchecked power. But man is more resilient than you think. His achievements are not the product of violence and bloodshed, but compassion and understanding. This calamity is but another crisis to be overcome. And we will, once we eliminate the Sin-Eaters.
You poor deluded fool. These people care not for the morrow. They care only for the now. And the contentment they lack. What good is a paradise to them if it is 1,000 years in the making? Or even 100?
You underestimate them, Lord Vauthry. They see further than you think. I have beheld it in the blood and sweat and tears of those who would sacrifice everything for a future they may never know. That their children may never know. I have beheld it in the hopes and dreams of those who came before, which we bequeath to those who come after, that they might in turn build upon the foundations laid by our forebears. These are the bonds which hold man and his world together, not your gilded chains, and I will resist your every effort to shackle him.
In summary, you will continue to support the villains hunting my Sin-Eaters?
With tremendous enthusiasm, for I have faith in the future they would build.
Why do I even bother? Fools, the lot of you! So naive! So painfully predictable! Did you imagine I did not know your mind? That I would wait until after this meeting to dispatch my forces? Even as we speak, they march to the Sin-Eaters' defense. Insurrection will not be tolerated! The people of this world are mine to rule, mine to command. And you are no exception!
What is this?
What? How did he... Insolent swine! I will not stand for this! Do you hear me?
Well, I don't think you can stand for anything, really. So, he has some sort of mind control power. Is that what he's using on the Sin-Eaters to control them?
You speak for the Knights Blessed?
I do. I presume that is your doing.
He's still alive.
If you're come to parley, I must insist that you first return him to us.
You're in no position to make demands. By Lord Vauthry's decree, Rak'tika now falls under the governance of Yulmore. You will henceforth
answer to us.
Is that so? And the children of the Everlasting Dark have acquiesced to this madness?
We have reached an accord, yes. Too many times have the Knights Blessed shunned Yulmore's overtures of friendship. The risk that you harbor hostile intentions has grown too great to ignore. Therefore, his lordship has claimed dominion over this forest and bestowed executive authority upon the children of the Everlasting Dark.
In his wisdom, Lord Vauthry has agreed to recognize ours as the only permissible expression of dark worship. It's one true faith. You and your false creed are a blight on these woods. A foul, unholy corruption that must be cleansed. Little wonder the Warrior of Darkness visits both Lakeland and Ilmeg, yet shuns Rak'tika. Your perverted teachings hold blessed Shadow at bay.
You have accepted the yoke of Yulmore to spite us, then? Fools. Darkness will never return to these skies while they hold sway.
Those of you minded to obey his lordship are to make for Woven Oath with all haste. We will leave you, but you may have time to prepare.
Woven Oath? Are you suggesting we abandon our fate to join those zealots?
What has your faith afforded you thus far? Nothing! We will guide you along the righteous path.
And should we refuse?
Anyone found here upon our return will be considered a traitor to Yulmore, and dealt with as such.
We will discuss these developments after I have tended to our casualty.
When are we going to talk about what you and your Yonjay were talking about, huh? I'm afraid that's probably where we're going to have to stop it. We've got a little bit more than 30 minutes left before the maintenance starts. God hath been afflicted with most terrible and efficacious poison. We have attempted all manner of healing incantations, alas, his condition remains unchanged. At present, we cannot but slow the poison's advance. I pray it will afford us sufficient time to find a cure. Put to the proof. The young guard. Poison spread throughout his system long before he was brought here. At present there is naught we can do but try and ease his pain. Do not blame yourselves, my friends. All that can be done has been done. Even had we reached him sooner, it would have made little difference. Children employ countless poisons. Finding a suitable antidote is not an impossible task. What of the rest of the Blessed? How have they taken the news of Yulmore's generous proposition? With anger and dismay, we cannot hope to oppose them and the children. I considered a convocation of all the Knights Blessed that we might consider their ultimatum, but I know how they will answer. Master Matoya, I am truly sorry. We cannot abandon our faith. But there is no reason for you to suffer for our decision. Your work is not yet done, and you still have time to flee. Flee? I am not one to run from my troubles. In fact, with Allah's arrival, I am minded to take the offensive. The Omoran's presence here plainly stems from the desire to protect the Light Warden. I say we seek it out and slay the creature before they return. Were darkness to fall over Rak'tika, they would have no cause to remain. All of which is rather easier said than done, unless of course you finally deciphered that tablet. I have, as a matter of fact, and with it we can prepare everything we need to enter Ixmaya. What say you all? We will need to act quickly, but I believe it can be done. We cannot defy our fate, but one course lieth before us. We slay the Light Warden, the Knights Blessed. We are the... It's... Are we not... We are the villains, are we not? Good. I leave the Blessed in your capable hands, Renar. Very well. I see there is no changing your mind. By all that is dark, I swear to keep the Blessed safe. According to the tablet, we will first need to obtain a seal used to identify the allies of Ronka in times past. One such seal should be waiting for us in a complex of underwater ruins not far from here. You have some experience in subaquatic excursions, do you not? Then this should prove a simple task for you. The ruins we seek are at the bottom of Lake Tusimekta. While you see to that, Menphilia and I will remain here to help shore up Slithborough's defenses. Your aid would be greatly appreciated. So we got Urianger, the healer, Ishtola, the DPS. We'd still need another DPS. Either way, 29 minutes left, so I'm gonna call it here for now. And once the servers come back up, once I'm able to get back in, I'll jump back on. Till then, I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye.